This is the Ray Lucia Show.
I don't get that excited. It's just me. Welcome, folks. It is the Ray Lucia program bringing you the best in money information. That's exactly what I have planned for this hour of Money Power as I talk strategy with you. Also, what are the 10 things successful retirees do? John Wasik, who's been on this program before from Forbes, a good writer, no doubt, wrote about that. Of course, he doesn't look old enough to be retired, so I don't know where he's getting his info. Maybe he's reading books and stuff. But he does have some interesting ideas here on retirement, and since I am an expert when it comes to trying to retire but can't, I should be able to have some commentary to go with that. Robert C. Lawton writes, fiduciary investment advisors may add more than 6% in value. Now, I've talked about the Russell study and all that, the 4%. 4% is kind of the number. You get that from Russell, you get it from Vanguard. A good best practices advisor, gross of fees, about 4%, net of fees, is worth 3% per year. That's been proven out. Morningstar did a report as well, and without behavioral coaching, it was still about 1.5%. With behavioral coaching, it's about 3%. Morningstar study was even more interesting in my mind because it generated 25-30% more income in retirement. That's what's really important. Anyway, I don't know about the 6% number. We get a chance to talk about that. Conversions for the older folks. If you're over 70 and a half, should you consider doing Roth conversions? Mr. Ed Slott wrote about that. I'll have my own comments. But I start today with strategy. And a mistake that a lot of retirees, especially those that are a little bit wealthier and charitably inclined, are making. Larry Light from Forbes actually did an interview with a fellow by the name of Rick Kaler from the Kaler Financial Group in Rapid City, South Dakota, where you're listening to this program right now, I believe. I do appreciate that. But Kaler brought out some interesting points when he talked about the mistakes, big mistakes, I think, that those that make charitable contributions each year are missing. And that's the QCD. Remember, when you're over age 70 and a half, you're able to send money directly to your charity from the IRA. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's not that big of a deal. No, it can be a big deal. Remember, when you're 70 and a half, you have a required minimum distribution. And a required minimum distribution must be taken every single year based on the account balance as of 12/31 from the prior year. And that's the account balance of all of your IRAs, SEP IRAs, simple IRAs, traditional IRAs, non-deductible IRAs, rollover IRAs, all of them. Add them all together. What's the balance? The end of 12/31/17, say. And if you're 70 and a half this year, you've got to take approximately 4% of whatever that number is and pay tax on it. Now, if you're age 65 or older, under the new law, you get $13,300 of itemized deductions. If you're married, that's $26,600. So by donating out of your IRA, you can reduce that required minimum distribution by an amount equal to your charitable gift. Think about that for a minute. You must take an RMD. That's a requirement. Required minimum distribution. So if you take your required minimum distribution and then on Sunday you donate a bunch of money to your church, you got a double whammy on that. You had to pay tax on the required minimum distribution, and you may not get a deduction.